Hi friends, today we are going to learn about a remainder theorem called Fermat's little theorem. This little theorem packs a big punch and can make difficult sounding remainder theory questions super easy. So let's get started. Have you ever come across a question where you are asked to find a remainder when a number is raised to a very large exponent and then divided by another number? You must have wondered, how can one find the remainder when one does not even know the value of the numerator? Here is where remainder theorems like Fermat theorem come in. They help us to simplify these complex looking questions to an easily solvable level. Before we begin, we must revise 4 basic concepts. These concepts are fundamental to understanding Fermat's theorem. The first concept is of prime numbers. I'm sure most of you already know prime numbers. A quick recap for those who don't. Prime numbers are natural numbers with only two positive divisors, 1 and the number itself. For example, 2, 3, 5, 7 are prime numbers. The second concept is of coprime numbers. Two numbers are said to be coprimes or relatively prime to each other if they have no divisors in common other than 1. In other words, their greatest common divisor is 1. For example, 22 and 15 are coprimes even though neither of the two numbers is a prime number. The third concept is of the modulo operator. The modulo operator returns the remainder when the first number is divided by the second. For example, if A is divided by B and the remainder is R, then A mod B is equal to R. The fourth and final concept is the multiplicative property of the modulo operator. The multiplicative property basically says that A into B mod C is equal to A mod C into B mod C, the whole mod C. By using this property, we can break down the numerator into its factors and find the remainder for each individual factor. Once we have the remainders of the subparts, we can calculate their product and find the remainder when the product is divided. For example, suppose we have to find the remainder when 40 is divided by 19. Well, this is easy. 19 2s are 38 and hence the remainder is 2. Now suppose we have to find the remainder when 40 square is divided by 19. Using the multiplicative property that we just learned, we could split the numerator into 40 in mod 19 into 40 mod 19, the whole mod 19. This equals 2 into 2 mod 19, which is equal to 4. So these two problems were fairly straightforward. But what would you do if you have to find the remainder when 40 raised to 40 is divided by 19? Now you might try to expand the numerator using the multiplicative property we just learned. But when the exponent is sufficiently large, this method becomes impractical. This is where Fermat's theorem comes in. Let's take a look at the formulae of Fermat's theorem. Fermat's theorem says that two numbers A and P, where P is a prime number and A and P are coprimes, A raised to P minus 1 modulo P is equal to 1. Another way of stating the theorem is that A raised to P modulo P is equal to A. Before we start applying the theorem, let us keep in mind two important points. The divisor P must be a prime number. Secondly, the number being divided must be relatively prime to the divisor. That is, A and P must be relatively prime. Now let us get back to our problem. Let us check if our problem satisfies the two conditions. The divisor 19 is a prime number and the dividend 40 is relatively prime to 19. Hence we can apply Fermat's theorem. According to Fermat's theorem, 40 raised to 19 minus 1 modulo 19 is equal to 1. That is, 40 raised to 18 modulo 19 is equal to 1. So we can split 40 raised to 40 into three parts. 40 raised to 18 into 40 raised to 18 into 40 raised to 4. The remainder of the first two subparts is 1 each. The third part can be further subdivided into 40 square into 40 square, each of which yield the remainder 4. Hence, the product of the remainders of the subparts is 4 into 4, that is 16 modulo 19, that is simply 16. Let us review the formula again. A raised to P minus 1 modulo P is equal to 1. Now that you know this theorem, go apply it in solving the three questions given below.